There we go. All right. So those of you that are catching this on YouTube, this is a recording. For those of you that are catching this on Facebook, this is live. If you have seen this as a video, please do hashtag replay. Again, it just helps us know how far the video goes. Give me one moment while I do one other thing. Like I said, trying to cross post everybody and everything is always interesting, shall we say. I think this is it. I want to copy the link. Hey, Lisa, how are you? And I want to go to my personal page as well. Switch this over to my personal page. Sorry, folks, this is trying to hit everybody and everything. So give me a moment. I'll put it here. All right, and away we go. So I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Like I said, I know I have a lot of screens kind of going on. My name is Tori, and I am part of Avalon Enchanted. We are a small boutique studio, psychic healing. It should be actually psychic and healing art studio located at 24 Brown Street in Wickford, with our entrance on the side on Spink, S-P-I-N-K Street. So with that being said, each week, Cindy, who is my partner with this venture, she and I alternate every other week, and we bring forward the illuminated reading. Basically, it's a reading to kind of give you an idea of what's coming up ahead. And what we do is we have it actually, we do it with Ascended Masters, okay? So what we do is we actually select a deck, and I've already pulled from that deck, and it is Taliesin. So Taliesin, I guess, would be A, Taliesin. Bridget, and Merlin. So you basically select the Ascended Master that you are drawn to, and I do a reading for each. Basically, the idea is that the reading is coming from those particular Ascended Masters. So Merlin is Lisa is choosing Merlin. So it was funny when I was shuffling that particular deck, Merlin came flying out of the deck, which I'm not necessarily surprised about. So with that being said, let me just go ahead and just do a huge deep shuffle on these, because this is actually a deck that I've had for a little bit, but I haven't really used. It's the A Touch of Magic Wicked Depiction Tarot deck, which I am actually in. So when I say I'm in it, I'm actually the star card. So stuff goes flying. Do one more shuffle, then I'm going to cut the deck, and I'm going to start, like I said, with Taliesin, who is all about storytelling. He is all into poetry, and he is part of the Welsh, I guess you could say, pantheon that's tied into the Mabinogi, and is very much tied into communication, divination, creativity, and so on. So we just had a card that went flying out, and guess what card flew out? The Star. Look familiar? Here we go. So we'll put that to one side and see what we get. So people who have chosen A, like I said, it is Taliesin who is bringing forward this information. And Taliesin is all about communication, divination, storytelling, creativity, and poetry. Interesting. All right. So people who chose A, the Taliesin. This is something that ties in where we may have found that we've had to kind of move away from some things, and it's probably been something that has been a good thing. We have the High Priestess on top of us, which is all about potential secrets, is also very much about staying in balance. So what I'm going to say with this is you may have been working through something, and you may have been working to make some major changes in your life, which is starting to bring in some of the abundance. But we have the Moon card, which is also very much about we're not seeing the full picture on things. So what I'm going to say is whatever opportunities that potentially come in for you this coming week, you're going to want to be careful, because you're going to want to make sure that you're going through all of the details. Okay. We have the Page of Swords, which is swords can either cut you or protect you, which is definitely true. And Page of Swords is also all about something, messages coming in. Swords are also very, very intellectual. So there may be some things in terms of decisions that you're making that you need a little bit of a push on. Okay. We do have the Six of Cups. So, we may find ourselves kind of needing to really kind of look at everything. Okay. We are a little bit upside down. I do see the Three of Wands in terms of kind of looking for more, but more importantly, I see the Devil card. I also see the Hangman, and then I see Justice. And one of the things that pops out for me mostly with the Justice card are the scales. Okay. So it could very well be that there's something legal this week that you're in the process of working through, or that's going to be coming up. But more importantly, she has the scales. Okay. And that's something that you want to really, really pay attention to about being in balance. The other thing I also want to mention is we have the Moon card, right? The Moon card. So, and then we have the Justice card. Lady Justice is blind. We're not seeing everything with the light of the moon, because with the light of the moon, sometimes it's full, sometimes it's a new moon. So sometimes, different times, we're not seeing everything, basically. All right. So what I'm going to say with that is that you definitely do want to make sure that you're careful. I think that certainly with what you've been through in terms of moving through what you've been through is important. It's kind of like it's a new chapter, but in the same token, it's a new chapter that's you're gonna have to figure out your clarity, basically. You're gonna have to figure out your clarity, and you're also gonna have to kind of, interesting. We have the Three of Wands here, right? Three of Wands, right? So with that being said, see, there she is kind of on the precipice. Reminds me a little bit of the Fool card, and which is interesting, but there's more to this. It's not just a new journey. It's not just a whole new adventure. It's kind of like, and it's upside down. So it's really something where you're gonna have to look before you leap. You're really gonna have to look before you leap. Okay. We also have the Hangman, like I said, which is all about being suspended or upside down or stuck in a rut. It's also a different perspective. So I think you're going to have to really find that you're going to need to really pay attention to looking at different things this particular week. Okay, so that's going to be something that you really want to take note of. Like I said, the star card did go flying out of the deck, and there is hope. Okay, so definitely be hopeful with everything through this process. You know, sometimes, as they say, it's darker before the dawn. You will get through this. Keep the faith, basically. Keep the faith, but just know that there may be some bumps in the road from some things that you might not necessarily be seeing coming, is the best way to describe it. All right, so let me just quickly reset. And then I'm going to do the people who chose B, which is Bridget. And for those of you who have just joined in, welcome. What I wanted to say is that we got some cool stuff going on with Wickford Village. Cindy's actually going to be leading a meditation night on the 16th, and there's still room available for that, both in person and also remote. So if you're either not local or can't make it, you can always attend via Zoom. Let us know and we can get you the links for either. It's $22 to attend the meditation night. And the nice thing is that it's going to help in terms of balancing out all the chakras, and it's going to help in terms of making sure that you're grounded and anchored and good things like that. We also have some room for table tipping on the 24th from 7 to 9. Right now we have, let's see, so we have about maybe 3 or 4 seats left. If people are interested in that, table tipping is a form of physical mediumship. It's something that I have been doing for a number of years, and it helps people in terms of connect with their loved ones, their friends, their pets, their spirit guides. People have used it to connect with ascended masters who have messages for people. And it is a really valuable tool, especially if you have been struggling or wanting to connect, because it provides that physical connection with the movement of the table, which is what's important. So we do have some seats available for that. Unfortunately, that is not remote. So that is in person at the studio in Wickford on the 24th. And if you're interested in that, you can get your ticket for that. We also have the tickets available by going on the by going onto the Avalon Enchanted page under events, and you'll be able to find the links with the dates and so on for all of our different events that happen. Okay, so next month, actually, I want to say it's June 4th, we're going to be hosting a full moon ceremony at the beach at North Kingstown Town Beach, and it's going to be a really, really pretty ceremony. So we're really excited. We're also going to be working with the summer solstice, actually on the 17th, because I know that there's a lot of stuff that's going on the 21st for a lot of people. So I wanted to catch it before people were basically committing for the 21st. But this is going to be a really cool event, which you can do online or you can do in person. And it's going to tie in with Merlin and the dragons and Stonehenge. So we are going to actually travel to Stonehenge through meditation. We're going to connect with Merlin. We're going to connect with his realm there at Stonehenge to be able to bring in the energies of the summer solstice. And the summer solstice is, as we know, the longest day of the year. It is the cross point between basically when we go into the dark half of the year. You know, the day after the 22nd, the days start to get shorter. So that's really important to recognize. So we do a lot of work with that. We do a lot of shadow work with that, especially, and that's important. So we're going on to B. Like I said, B is Bridget. Okay, she definitely is fiery. She's definitely feisty. She's all about soul empowerment. She's all about passion. She's all about radiance. She's also all about birth. So there may be some new things that you might be pulling forward or allowing to step forward if you've selected B. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Fool. So we have some new adventures going on. Death in the past. Okay, so that means that we've been through a lot and we're getting on the other side. But we do have the Three of Wands, the Three of Swords. So we're still working through stuff. Interestingly enough, though, we have the King of Swords, we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Eight of Cups, and then the Two of Swords. So swords, as I've always said, can be kind of tricky. We might be kind of struggling to kind of figure out what direction to go in if you've chosen B. Hey, Brittany, how are you? With that being said, we're kind of off into a whole new direction, and we're kind of literally hitting the ground running and moving forward. So we actually have the Five of Wands in terms of kind of moving forward, but doing so in kind of a defensive stance. We also have the Two of Coins. So, you know, you may find that there's a need to kind of be a little bit on the conservative side, but the great news is that we have the Ace of Cups. Emotionally speaking, the Ace of Cups is falling into a place where we have new things that are going to be happening. Again, we have the Hanged Man. Okay, so when I say the Hanged Man, to me, this is really about making sure that you're really looking at things from all perspectives. Okay, Hanged Man. Yes, he has a tie on his ankle, but are his hands actually tied, or is he actually free? I feel like there's things that you can work with B. You may find that this new direction that you're going in, this new turn of the wheel, so to speak, may be something that is kind of pushing you outside of the comfort zone. But sometimes that's really good. Sometimes that's really important to do that. So that way we grow as an adult, we grow as a human, our soul grows. And that's important. The King of Swords is somebody that is, it's their way or no way. They're very smart, they're very intellectual, but in the same token, they can kind of run into things like a bull in a china shop. All right. There definitely may be some things that you're expecting to kind of come to fruition that you might have to kind of wait on a little bit. And there are going to be some decisions to make, you know. I almost feel like with people who chose B, this is all about passion. This is all about birth, new beginnings, soul empowerment. I feel like with what you've been through last week or even the week before, you know, you're working on clearing through some stuff and you have some choices to make. It's time to make a choice that's for you. It's also a time to really push yourself outside of our comfort zone and to move forward. And you know, it's funny because the three of swords many times is all about heartache, but it can also be about things being uncomfortable. And for me, I'm likening this with the idea that the growth is going to be uncomfortable. We have the Nine of Wands. So, you know, stand your ground. you know, you've been through a lot, but sometimes it's worth taking that risk, that leap of faith. Okay, so that's something to think about. Just know that, like I said, just know that forward movement is the critical piece of this for you. And it's actually something that's going to help you grow. And it's also going to be something that is going to require you to kind of work through things. And you're also going to have to really kind of, that's what I'm looking for. Look at all the potential options. Okay, great to hear, Brittany. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, so you know, there's just a lot that you're going to find as different ways to go, some of which you might feel you resonate with, some you might not. But I think it's important to look at all of the options and not just grab the first one or be so focused on one particular one that's out of reach. Okay, so that is B. Let's take a look and see what's kicking for C, which is Merlin. So Merlin, who I have been working with for years and years and years. My grandmother actually started me working with Merlin, to be perfectly honest. We even had birds named Merlin and Morgana, believe it or not. Little finches. And Merlin was very good at getting out of his cage and escaping. Hi, Lindsay, how are you? Ooh, this one just flew out of the deck. Ooh, okay. All right, so Merlin. We're up to Merlin. So he is all about perception, magic, alchemy, and equilibrium. Okay. Alchemy, we always talk about turning lead into gold, but there's spiritual alchemy, which is where he comes in and focuses this particular type of magic. So we did have the 7 of Wands come flying out. We'll see why in a little bit. But let's see. Woo, mama, we got a lot of swords. All right, so people who chose C, Merlin, we got a lot of swords going on, not gonna lie. So let's see. Hey, Scott. We got the 7 of Pentacles. So it's kind of like you've been kind of sitting there waiting. Maybe it's one of those things where you've been kind of fearful in terms of making the wrong move. And you kind of feel like you're not going to be able to come back from it. This is crossed by the 10 of Swords, which is all about stick a fork in me, I'm done. So it's one of those things where this is going to be one of those things where I think you kind of have to just be open and honest with yourself. Okay. We have the 5 of Swords above us, which there's a lot going on, not going to lie. And interestingly enough, I almost feel like you know that this has been something that's been coming to an end for a while. Okay. We do have the 9 of Swords, which is all about, oh, well, I like to call it the headache card, you know, kind of rehashing things. And like I said, this is upside down. All right. So I just feel like there's just been so much in terms of the universe saying, no, we need to change this. No, we need to make this come to an end. No, this growth needs to happen and this thing needs to stop. So people who have chosen Merlin can be a hard ass teacher, not gonna lie. He can be one of those teachers that is very great and jovial. He's not the bippity boppity boo that you see in a Disney film, okay? He is a shaman. He has a foot in the dark and a foot in the light. And he is a very hard teacher. When Merlin steps forward for people, he basically tells you he wants to work with you, but you have to be ready for it and you got to be committed to doing the work. So I feel like people who are choosing C or Merlin just need to know that this has been something that's been coming for a while. And this has also been something that you've known about, but sometimes we kind of wait a little almost too long in order for, we're just going to ignore that, progress to happen, okay? We have the Empress, and the Empress is abundance, you know, new things that are on the horizon, which is good. She has the star, or a star, I should say, in her hands. Many times in the traditional sense, she has the star crown. So I feel like there's stuff that's coming, but you got to let go in order to allow this other stuff to come in. We have the Four of Swords, which is what direction, you know, you kind of feel trapped. So I almost feel like you're kind of feeling like the decision, you're not in control. And that's the part that's can be a little terrifying. So it's one of those things that I do feel like you do need to be open and honest. We have the King of Pentacles. So there is, you know, there is stuff that's definitely coming in, but we also have the Page of Cups. So I just feel like it's going to be a little bit of a rocky ride. All right, it's going to be a little bit of a rocky ride. We also have the King of Cups. We also have the Queen of Swords, and then we also have the Magician. Now you have all the tools. You just need to kind of dig in and allow things to work through the process. And remember, I said that the Seven of Wands popped out. You know, it's not going to be an easy transition this week. So if you've been feeling like you've been hitting roadblocks, it could be that the universe is saying, hey, we need to kind of pare down some things to allow some new stuff to come in. Okay. And it's a matter of being willing to do the work. It's a matter of being willing to kind of let go of what you need to let go of, and being willing to bring in maybe a little bit of uncertainty in terms of uncomfortableness or discomfort, in order to allow some of this stuff to kind of fly, okay? Now, interesting, Merlin is about equilibrium. And there is a lot in terms of refinding your equilibrium that tends to be kind of coming into this. You know, you may feel like you've been kind of out of balance for a while, but you're starting to see a little bit clearer. It's kind of like the writing is on the wall, and now is the time to say, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. And there's also a vulnerability. I'm feeling that there's also very much a vulnerability that is happening emotionally for people who have chosen Merlin. So he's certainly someone that is here to kind of help come in and reestablish the equilibrium. He's also somebody here that is who is here to kind of help with maybe changing perceptions of the situations that have been going on. So that way you can bring in what it is that you either want to bring in or need to bring in. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for people who have chosen Merlin or C. Okay. Just a reminder, we are going to be available for walk-in readings this Saturday from 11 to 1. The studio will actually be closed from 1 to 3, and then we'll be back open from 3 to 5. So we are available for walk-in readings. We're also going to be available for walk-in readings on Mother's Day on the 14th from 11 to, I believe it's 11 to 5. And Cindy's meditation is coming up on the 16th. So be sure to go to the Avalon Enchanted page and be sure to like and follow the information and the content. We're also on Instagram under Avalon_Enchanted. And you can actually sign up right on the Facebook page. Again, we do have a couple seats open for table tipping on the 24th, which is in person. And then we have a lot of cool stuff that's coming up for next month. So if you're going to check it out, we are generally available and in the studio on weekends, especially Saturdays and many Sundays. So we will see you then. We're also going to be open for part of the Memorial Day weekend, and we hope to see you soon. So have a pleasant evening, and we hope that we will catch you either in the studio or in a reading or at an event coming up soon. Thanks so much. Bye.